hope this comes out the right way I want it to. So I want to start out by asking each and every one of you one question. One question only. Something that was asked me, and I'll give you the story. I was in a period of my life where I was with my brother Ryan, and I really started questioning my faith. And I'll explain later, but I want to ask you guys this. This comes up right now. How do you know God is real? How do you know? Now, I want you guys to think about this while I talk. And here's the backstory from why I asked you guys this. Was about coming up on 3 years in May. A little over 2 years ago, my father died. I was 19 years old, passed away suddenly. No explanation, no rhyme or reason why, just it was God's time for him to take him home. At that period of time, my faith was largely based on my parents' faith. My parents, and I hate to use faith, but that's what everybody understands. It's more of a walk, it's a relationship. My faith, my relationship was based off of them. So when I was out with my brothers down in Alamogordo, and I'm sitting there and I'm questioning my faith, and I'm struggling with it, and he asked me this question, he's like, well, dude, why do you know? How do you know he's real? And me being an engineer and studying engineering and all this stuff, I started to try to rationalize it. Well, there's this and there's this, but what about this? And he said, bro, stop. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody. It doesn't have to be rational. Why do you real? And after he said that, and after I stopped thinking about it in a rational manner, I sat there for about a minute and thought, I was like, well, because I've seen him guide me. I can't say that he speaks to me. I don't hear this voice or anything. But I've seen him guide me. In almost every decision since the day I turned 18. Since I was out from the protection of my parents. I mean, my choice is to go to school. What to go to school for? I didn't know I wanted to be a civil engineer. I had no idea. Not even crossed my mind. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to shoot people. But that's the direction he took me. And even during the school, I was going to school here on the Valencia campus, I didn't know what my next step would be. I didn't know where to go. It was either UNM or I could go to NMSU or Tech. That's where the nerd goes, so I don't want to go there. But I turn around and I end up going to Tech. I end up getting scholarships. I end up getting everything paid. I go to school free. That's not me. I can't do that. There's no way that I can throw everything together to where I go to school for free. Have jobs. Everything's lined up. Everything. So, if that's me, each one of you is going to be different. Each one of you is going to have their own way of knowing he is real. Now, I'm not going to ask you guys, because I don't want to say it. But think about it. Go home and think about it. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody. It doesn't have to. What you think is going to be different than what I think. And it doesn't have to make sense to me. What you think is going to be different than her and me and everybody else, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to make sense to me. It has to make sense to you. So another thing that I wanted to go into during this period of time in my life that I went through was also ground shattering of my faith, because I came to realize that my faith was not based on the right thing. I had a very faith-based relationship with God. Now, faith is very, very vital to us as Christians. We can't believe in God without faith. But what I see is, in the Bible, it shows us everywhere. It's not about faith. It's not. When you look at the full armor of God, I'm going to use an analogy, but it's not going to be like this. I'm a builder. I'm a contractor, my dad was a contractor, I'm going to study civil engineering, so I know everything about buildings. Not everything, but I know a lot. So my analogy is, when we look at the full armor of God, what do we have? Helmet of salvation, shield of faith, right? Belt of truth, sword of the Spirit, breastplate of righteousness, and you know, depending on your version, you can go from shin guards to shoes to whatever, but the gospel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relate that to a house. You know, everybody has a house here, right? I hope. We're not going to be out on the streets. So what is the most pivotal part of a house?
Foundation.
Foundation. Yes. So what is the foundation of the armor? What's the foundation of the person who's wearing the armor? The feet, right? You don't have feet, you can't stand, you can't do anything, you can't battle. So the foundation and the framework are like the gospel of peace. Without that, nothing else exists. That is your foundation. Nothing else can exist without that foundation of the gospel. Okay, so let's go with breastplate of righteousness. What is that? What can we relate that to? It guards. A breastplate is meant to guard. Guard your vital organs. The vital. What is it? Doors and windows. The doors and windows of the house are meant to keep everything out, right? That's why you have doors and windows. If you didn't have it, you could walk in your house without willy-nilly and just do whatever you want, right? So without those two parts, nothing exists. Nothing else can exist. Alright, next thing, breastplate of righteousness, belt of truth. The fasteners, the nails, the screws, everything to tie everything together. Without that, nothing exists. I can't put together a house without nails. I can't put together anything without some form of fastening it together. Truth. So it binds everything else together. Because we know that truth comes from God. We call it the word truth is just everything. Without it, nothing else happens. What's next? Now let's go with that helmet of salvation. The roof. The covering. Protect yourself, right? Salvation, that is the covering from everything else. Without it, there's no house. We can't. How would you like to live in a house where whenever it rains, you get rain inside your house? It's a pain in the butt. You don't want to deal. You don't want to live there. You don't want to live in a house without a roof. So that's vital part. Salvation. It's covering. Shield of faith. What can we relate this shield of faith to? It's hiding. It's covering, right? Without that, wind can just blow right through the studs. That ain't gonna work. Without metal on the outside of this building, it doesn't work. So the point I'm getting to here is we can't base one thing off another. They all work together. We can't have just a faith-based relationship with God. We can't have just a truth-based. Because they're all interconnected. And what's the sword of the Spirit? Well, that's the gun you keep inside the house. But you get what I'm saying here? Every piece of this walk, of this relationship with God, is vital. It's so important. We can't have anything else. It doesn't exist unless all these pieces are there. So, whenever my dad died, I realized that yes, my relationship was very faith-based. And I remember I was down in Magordo Sunday morning, and it was me and my mom. And I walked into my brother's room Sunday morning right before church to go talk to him. Hey, bro, you know, we always, whenever we're together, we always talk. I walked in and I remember him sitting up in bed and going, bro, slow down. Slow down, what happened? Well, he was on the phone with my brother who had just found my dad dead in the bathroom. 54 years old, died from a deep vein thrombosis, basically blood clot traveled from his legs to his lungs. He suffocated. I didn't know what it was. They wouldn't tell me until we were on the road. But when for me, when I had that faith, that was so much based off my parents and what they said. Whatever they said was truth, I took for truth. I realized that my faith crumbled because when I walked in the door, I walked up to him in the bathroom with a finger and body bag. All I could think was, God, bring me back. I need my daddy. I called him daddy since I was 8 years old. Childlike faith, right? That's what we hear in the Bible. Come before him with childlike faith. So there I am, crying out to God, praying, Lord, bring him back. Need him. I can't go on. I need him. I don't know what to do. Because up to that point, I could go to him for everything. I don't know what to do. Dad, what do you think? I can tell me. Now that's removed. I started on this massive journey of just complete destruction of my family to teach me what I believe is truth, what I believe a walk should be. Fast forward about a little over a year and a half, October 2016. It was October 13th, 2016. I remember it vividly because that was my last day at work. I had till the 15th, and I called him and said, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. Found out that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. Not even 2 years after experiencing the emotions and everything else that's going through my dad. Here's my mother, the strongest Christian that I know. The strongest. And now she has cancer. And now I have to deal with, maybe I think I'll lose my mama too. 20 years old. 20 years old. How do you deal with it? I'll tell you, my faith grew so much during all of the past almost 3 years than it ever has because of these events. So I watched my mom walk through cancer. 2 months later, December 6th, 2016, I was at school, almost done for the semester. I'm pretty happy. Homework's going down. Yeah. Feel fun. Got about a month off. Yeah, sweet. Well, there's a big fire here in Communities, just like literally right up the road. And I heard about it, and I was like, hey, I wonder if my department there is. I'm a firefighter. So I go over there, and my brother's there. Between the time period of my father dying and me, and that period of time, he'd come back as a Valencia County officer, Valencia County deputy. So I see him there. I'm like, hey, dude, you know, what's up? We're having a good time. He's like, all right, well, dude, I'm going to be here till like midnight. Day shift is still on. I'm going to be back here at this scene, at this fire, till probably in the morning. Do you want to go grab a bite to eat? I'm like, sure, you paying? Right? You gonna get me, bro? You got this one? So, the one and only time I've ever been in the back of the police car, he threw me in the back. He's like, all right, I'll take you back to your car. So, I go back to this car. I get in my car, and we head out here to River Road, Lake Slaughterburger. So, quick, cheap, easy, right? Me and him are ordering, and he gets a call. He goes, bro, I gotta go. It's Burger in Progress out in Little Juarez. If you don't know where that is, that's Meadow Lake. Poor boys. Anyway, so I'm like, yo, I got you. He hadn't paid, he had to leave, so I paid for it. I'm like, I'll be at grandma's, just let me know. And my grandma lives there in Boy. So I get the food, I text him, and hey bro, you over at grandma's, just let me know, I can meet you, I'll give you your food. Or you can just meet me there and we can do whatever. About 15 minutes later, I had finished eating. I was just hanging out with my grandma, I was waiting for him. My brother Justin, who's a Blaine City firefighter, calls me and says, bro, Ryan was in an accident. You need to get home now. So, of course, I'm like, okay. Jump in my car, on the road, I'm doing like 100 down 116. I'm moving, right? Because the only thing that was in my mind is I need to be at home with the family. Forget everything else. Last thing I heard was they're airlifting him to UNM. If they're airlifting him, he's still alive. So let me get home, be with my family, then we'll go up. We'll go see him at the hospital together. Is it okay for now? I get home, I didn't even back in like I normally do. I just whipped in my car and I'm like, there, boom. All right, let's go. I'm walking up the front steps and my brother meets me and says one little phrase. Says, Ryan's with Dad. Ryan's with Dad. Barely 21 at this point in my life. And Ryan's with Dad. Two of the most influential men in my life and who I am here today are gone. They're dead. I can never talk to them. Me and Ryan, we always used to go to the gym. That was our thing. Hit the gym religiously about 5 days a week. I don't have that anymore. I don't have those encouragement to press that one last set out. You know, to bench more than I ever had, to do all the stuff that I never thought I could do, but he knew was in me. And now it's gone. I have nothing left. My world is shattered. It was my dad. It's my brother. My mom's going through cancer right now. Cancer treatment. I'm seeing her puke her guts up and go through all this garbage that she had. And it's still shook me so bad. I'm sitting there thinking, God, why? Why? Bring him back, Lord. He has a daughter that's turning 2, like 2 days. He has a son that's not even born yet. If anybody deserves a miracle, it's them. Right here, right now. Not even me, them. They deserve a miracle. They deserve it. Lord, please, God, just for once. Listen and give me this small miracle. No, it didn't happen. God said no. But about a few months ago, several months ago actually, I don't do time very well, but hindsight is 20/20. It's always a perfect vision. I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, what is going on? Why is all this crap happening to my family? I mean, we're Christians. We've gone to church. My dad drug us to church every Sunday that we were here. That we weren't sick. We were in church, back row, because that's where Dad liked to sit. But we were in church. I know God's real. I've been to Bible school. I used to go to Pre-Grounded, which was Pastor Barney's show. I used to be here. I know I could recite Bible. My mom homeschooled us, and one of the things she had us do was read the Bible every day. We read from a 1-year Bible, cover to cover. What's not working? Is it me? Is my faith not good enough? Am I not good enough? But something dawned on me. It's not us. In Jeremiah, I think 29 somewhere, it says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you. Right? But what is prosperity? Is it money? Is it cars? What is prosperity? What about prosperity of your relationship with God? Can we walk in prosperity in that? Right? So, another thing that hit me was, when I was thinking about it, was the Lord's Prayer, right? When the disciples and everybody around him asked, God, how do we pray? What is the blueprint for prayer? What is the one thing that he's telling us? Not my will, but yours be done on earth as it is in heaven. What about when Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane, before facing the cross, sweating blood. He's so stressed. Everything that you can imagine is going through his mind right now. And yet he says, not my will, Father, but yours be done. So even though we have the faith, we have all these elements, there's one thing that is probably the most vital part in my relationship. Everyone's different. But at this point in my life, the most vital is realizing that it's not about what I want. God's not some dog I can just whistle and boom, he's there. Or some genie I can rub a lamp. And here's my wish. It's not about that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's God's will. I don't understand it. I didn't understand that almost 3 years ago that my father would be dead. That I would see my mom walk through cancer, that my brother would die. I didn't know that. When it's happening, I can't see any plan. Where's the plan in that? But now I look back on it and I see that if not for his will and his path and his saying, this is the path I choose for you, Jared, I would not be who I am today. I wouldn't be so good at school. I know a lot of people who do drugs. They're my classmates. Can't do the homework that I do without classmates, so it's helping me. I might be involved in that right here, right now. I might be an alcoholic because everybody drinks in college. I might be there. I might be that guy. That I'm an alcoholic. I'm on drugs. I'm doing all this crap. Had it not been for my experiences, I might have fallen into that. I might have been that guy that right now wouldn't be talking to you. I would never have this opportunity. So no matter how hard it was to go through that, no matter how hard and how emotionally distraught and how many, I can't even tell you days. I can't distinguish days from another in that period of time. They're non-existent in my memory. It feels like a few hours of cognizant thought, and then just an 2 weeks. I've never experienced anything before like that in my entire life. The amount of emotional trauma and stress that you go through. They talk about the 6 phases of grief. They say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's more like all of them at once, hitting you in the face like a 10-ton freaking truck. It's not, I'm going through grief right now. I'm going through depression. No. It's anger at God. Because why did he do this? What did I do to deserve this? It's questioning everything you've ever known. It's emotion. It's everything packed into 1 second. And it's always changing. It's never the same. Next second you could be feeling okay. Next second you're back at that place again. But living through that, having that experience, having that trial, God doesn't promise anything, but you will be tested. You will go through trials. You will face tribulations. I've scanned the Bible. I've done everything. But the only promise that I've seen come true is you will go through hell. Hell on earth, that's what I went through. That is the best way I can describe it. It's hell on earth. When your life just shatters to a billion pieces. But the one thing we also know about God is He doesn't work with perfect thoughts. He doesn't work with perfection. He works with brokenness. That pot that I was before, He said, you know what? No, it's not done yet. It's not finished yet. I'm going to fire it. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to put it in the fire. And I broke. But you know what? He pulled me out and said, you know what? I can still work with this. I can make it better. But had I not been broken, He would never have the opportunity to make me better. So no matter what trial or tribulation or anything you face, God does have a plan. But He also understands your emotions, your feelings in that moment. He understands. I thought something that really helped me was Lazarus. Lazarus is dead. God knows He's going to bring him back. But he cries. Why? Why would he cry if He knows He's already going to bring him back? Why not just bring him back, right? Look how powerful I am. I just brought this man back from the dead. 3 days. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. He cried because he felt sad. One of his best friends in the world is in the grave. My best friends are in the grave. My father and my brother, they're in the grave. But yet God, his best friend, is there saying, yes, he's in the grave, but I will bring him back. Yes, I'm sad. I don't like the pain. I don't want the pain. My friend's in the grave. So the promise that I hold on to is that we will see each other again. We will see each other again. Not today, tomorrow, I don't know when. But we will see each other. One of the most important things I can tell anyone is this. Throughout all my experiences, never once have I felt God's hand lead me. Never once. There's a poem that my mom loves called Footprints in the Sand. If you're a Christian, you've probably heard it. But at the end of the man's life, he turns back and sees at the hardest points of his life, there's only one set of footprints in the sand. And he asks God, why? Those are the hardest periods of time in my life. Why would you leave me? And God turns around and says, I didn't. I carried you. And I can tell you from my experiences going through all this garbage, it felt like I was alone. Like I had nothing, nobody. I didn't even feel like I could talk to my brother who's going through the same things. Because how does he know what I'm going through? I'm alone. I'm alone in this. But looking back, there he was, guiding me, carrying me, saying, it's okay. This is a light momentary affliction. It's fleeting. Yeah, right now I can tell you it still hurts. There's days that I cry like a baby because I miss him so much. But for I have hope. See him again. And this feeling that I'm feeling is only part of something. I was close to being like Dad. I was close to being like Ryan, who, on the way to a call, rolled his car and was ejected. That selflessness, that passion for what you do. Everything. How these experiences, each one of your lives, everyone is going to be different, just like the house. Just like my original metaphor. Every house is different. What's in my house is different than what's in your house. And what's in your house? What's in your house? But they're all composed of the same thing. The gospel. The truth. The righteousness that we hold ourselves to. The salvation that is our covering. The sword that we can say no. The sword of the Spirit. That we can have the audacity to look at the devil straight in the face and say no. And faith to protect us. That's what God is building in each and every one of us. So, back to my question. How do you know God is real? Everything I told you started with that question. How do I know? How does Jared know that God is real? It's because I've seen him, I felt him carrying me through it. That's how I know God is real. That's how I can stand here today, tonight, look at each and every one of you in the eye and say, I know God is real. So, that's what I challenge each and every one of you to do. Go home, think about it. How do I know God is real? You can think of every bad thing that you think is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. And look at what you learned from it. How did God use that to teach you? And think. Doesn't that make sense? Can it really make sense to you? How do I know